Belting our favorite love songs in our shower concerts was his solution to our biggest life problems. Whenever the odds were against us and they became too daunting, he'd schedule a performance. A timed, curated playlist would be created, and a call time would be issued. I got a girl crush, hate to admit it, but I've got a heart rush, ain't slowing down. His limited understanding of the English language led him to believe that the song was about lady on lady love. I didn't bother to correct him. The story of us had began the year before, and I hadn't even been on the island for 24 hours. And I was waiting for one of my flatmates to return from the restroom when a gang of 3 handsomes rolled into my eyeline. See, my island itinerary had been masterfully prepped for 10 days of birthday celebration, sandy beach days, and a bit of work on my coffee documentary that I had been writing and directing at the time. And I was ready. Ready for chic island fashion statements, ready for Cuban cigars, ready for horseback farm tours, ready for all the things I had dreamt of doing for decades on this once forbidden island. I was not ready to leave my heart in Havana. Then the sun-kissed skin of one of the cyclists eclipsed my vision, and my interest was piqued. Now let us be clear. To know me is to know that because I work in the entertainment industry where physical beauty is as common as lies in the White House, it takes a tremendous amount to turn my head, and my neck was on a full swivel. There I stood in my pastel linen wrap dress and fuchsia lip, a vision if I do say so myself, excitedly expectant of an aggressive Latino come on that for once I was actually inviting. And I got nothing. Nada. Not even a head turn. So naturally I presumed he liked white girls, and I carried on with my business. He caught my gaze once more as he ascended the stairs, so I figured I'd indulge in one last look, because, you know. And as he made his way to the second landing with his featherweight racing bike on his shoulder, he stopped, locked eyes with me through the slats of the stairs. He winked and blew me a kiss. An impromptu cappuccino date with all of our friends awaited me at the top of that stairwell. Eniswal and Ramirez. Nicole Christine Gutierrez. He was hooked. I wasn't convinced. 3 blissful nights later, as we found ourselves pacing the dilapidated Havana streets that I was calling home for the week, we had only had one set of keys for the flat, so my flatmate had offered to stay up for me as I went on my first solo date with Mr. Chocolate Sunshine. Oye! Taliba! Ashley! Hey! Whistling, yelling, launching anything we could find at the balcony of this 3rd story, we were met with radio silence. There I stood in my electric blue bodysuit beneath the miniskirt blooming with tropical flower print and my hot pink Michael Kors jellies. And in a matter of moments, the chic outfit became a prison I couldn't get out of, and my flat, a cell that I couldn't get into. And I had to poop. I had the meat sweats, and my heart was beating out of my chest. I wanted to die. The Cubano had done everything in his power to keep a smile on my face, from singing my favorite love ballads to initiating the schoolyard hand clap games. You know the one, down, down, baby, down, down the roller coaster, sweet, sweet baby. Yeah, that one. And at about 4:30 a.m., when all the ballads had been sung, I wanted to cry, and Mr. Chocolate Sunshine had finally hit boiling point. He reached his hand through a vacant window next to the front door that stood fixed in a building that had been visibly worn by the weight of communism. And I offered to help, but he told me to stay put, so I did. I watched as he reached his phone through this vacant space. Then he shimmied out of his belt and stuck it through the hole. He then went around the corner and turned up a few minutes later with the wire and measured some more things, took some more pictures. I kept offering my help, as I am inherently not built to stand in my hot pink jellies while someone else works out my problems. But he told me to stay still, so I did. And this MacGyver-esque scene persisted for about another 45 minutes when all of a sudden I heard a pop and the door opened. He had used his phone to take photos of what the lock looked like from the interior, his belt to measure the distance, and created a tool with the wire they had found on the street to get me back into my Havana home. I was sold. Pure, unbridled laughter. This was the foundation of us. Deep-bellied laughs in hotel lobbies as we stumbled over lost lyrics that we thought we knew the words to. I want to love you and treat you right. I want to love you every day and every night. We'll be together. Come on. With the roof right over our heads, we'll share this man. I'm single, man. Oh, I simply adored that man, and he showered me with every ounce of his heart and soul. And just before I left the island, I agreed to a family dinner, and the memory of that perfect evening will be forever etched on the landscape of my being. The gym shoe and denim king arrived at my door dressed in navy chino shorts, a crisp graphic tee, and brand new navy driving shoes. The island tuxedo. He had a bike taxi greet us as we exited my flat, and he had planned a romantic ride through the winding streets of Havana before dinner. And as we made our way up the front steps, his palm perspiration superglued his hand to mine. I've never done this before. You've met your parents before. I'm the one who should be nervous. Stay calm. He smacked my ass, I rolled my eyes, and we made our way around to the other side of the door. And on the other side of that kitchen wall, I was greeted with homemade piña coladas, arroz con gris, aguacate, chuletas, tostones, and a side of the family unit I never had. It was love at first sight. A smoldering kiss quickly turned to love, followed by an I will that should have led to I do. Heart palpitations turned into prickly politics that had nothing to do with our deep-bellied laughs and lyrical blunders. In time, Ennis became my steady rock, my constant, my greatest love. And his stage-10 sarcasm equally met his deep value of family, fitness, and food. The summation of every box checked. He was my black Superman. I returned to the island as often as I was able, and 90 miles and 90 piles of paperwork stood between our happily ever after. Paperwork, dollars, miles, miles, miles. Neither seemed to retreat. My final visit would be our first step to forever, our courthouse marriage that would then allow us to start his American visa paperwork. The paperwork process on my end took months of dead-end research, many Secretary of State mailings, translations, more money than either of us had, and visits to the Consulado de Cuba in Washington, D.C. 7 long months later, I had finally jumped every political hoop. So I thought. 2 missed flights and misplaced luggage pieces later, we made it through to the almost I do. And as I stood at that Fort Lauderdale airport sobbing at the luggage counter, I believed that being delayed a day and a half and a lost bridal gown were the biggest obstacles a bride-to-be could face, right? Oh, how I wish that was so. 2 airlines, 2 airports, 2 wrong terminals, and 2 money wire transfer later, my luggage still hadn't made it. Pero My maid of honor had made it, and armed with the paperwork, I had made it. Mi marido woke early the next morning to get the paperwork to the justice of the peace to ensure everything was in order for the ceremony. We were scheduled to get married that next week on his birthday. Special to him for obvious reasons. Skillfully selected by me so I would never forget our anniversary. He left me behind to sleep off my trip trauma. And hours later, I woke to the sound of him pacing the Airbnb kitchen. Pacing, pacing. Pacing. Then the bedroom door slowly opened, and he softly shuffled to my bedside. Bebé. Bebé. Sí, mi amor. Paperwork. Denied. A ridiculous semantic word discrepancy left my paperwork unusable. See, in Cuba, foreigners are required to produce a single certificate. The Cuban government didn't like the way mine was written. My document stated that from 2000 to 2017, there was no record of marriage found. They wanted it to say, never been married. I was told that I would have to start over from the beginning. There was no money to start over from the beginning. And eventually, the shower concerts failed to rinse away the weight of the miles and the piles, and the weight of the politics became bigger than our love. And 2 days before my birthday, he called off our engagement. We can't keep doing this. Things are getting harder, not easier. I have no money, not even $2 to call you. Mi amor, you can't keep worrying about me. And just like that, my dreams were eclipsed, and I collapsed. Tú, solo tú, has llenado de luto mi vida, abriendo una herida en mi corazón. Tú, solo tú, eres causa de todo mi llanto, de mi desencanto y desesperación. And I fight every day, 6 months later, to discover my new normal. You see, I had no intention of leaving my heart in Havana. Yet there, it resides.